Good afternoon. This is a Weather Concierge video. I am your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino, and today we're going to talk about model volatility. Now, over the past couple of days, we've seen models go all over the place with ridges and troughs over the eastern United States here, and that has led to a wide variety of different model solutions and temperatures ranging anywhere from 100 degrees to 85 degrees. Which in the summer is a pretty significant spread and can lead to a lot of problems for energy providers. Do we need more electricity for the upcoming heat wave, or is the heat wave going to be more in the plains, or is it going to end up on the East Coast in the major cities and cause a major power outage? What is going to happen, and what's causing all of this volatility? Well, meteorologists, we deal with this all the time. So what's happening here? Well, first of all, we have the models for this afternoon, okay? It shows on the European guidance. This is on tropicaltidbits.com, by the way. Great website to check out some free data. You have a nice little broad ridge, should I say, and several that show up on the guidance here, okay? Now, each one of these is a weak trough. They're not able to dig down towards the Gulf Coast, but they're pretty progressive as well. This leads to various cold fronts where you warm up and then cool down and warm up and cool down. So let's say, for example, you end up with temperatures around 90 degrees in New York City or around Pittsburgh, and then you knock right back down to 82, and then you warm back up again ahead of the next cold front. The GFS, on the other hand, they just keep broad ridges and troughs, okay? Now, in this scenario here, you build up the heat big time here along the East Coast, and you cool it down a bit in the northern plains, okay? Meanwhile, both models, the European and the GFS, have a little bit different look in what's happening here around the Aleutian Islands. Keep that in mind. Next, we jump to FV3, the new model guidance. Definitely check out the discussion I wrote about this one. This is the new model that's going to be coming out that's going to be replacing the GFS sooner or later. And it's a lot like the European here. It produces a very deep trough here around the Aleutians. Keep that in mind. And then several troughs here moving along through North America. And then our friend the Canadian, well, the Canadian's doing what the Canadian always does, and that is amplifying a nice little deep trough around the Aleutians down to 991 millibars, and then sends a whole bunch of troughs through the northern plains and through Canada here, and then heading off towards the eastern United States. Notice they all have the same theme of a battle between the western Atlantic ridge and troughs coming in from the west. So all of them support a humid air mass. The question is whether it's going to be 95 or 85, which can have a huge impact, again, on energy providers and all sorts of other factors. So what's causing all this volatility? Well, let's check out what's going on here in the Pacific. Typhoons, old tropical low pressure systems lifting northward, another old tropical system moving into China. There's a lot of activity going on around here. And the same activity is going on over the northeastern Pacific. We'll move my face over here, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 tropical low pressure systems. Meanwhile, we have a trough here to the south of the Aleutians. You see, what's happening here is that all these different tropical low pressure systems are starting to lift up towards the higher latitudes, and they're starting to interact with the polar jet stream. What that basically means is that we're adding a lot of heat to the polar jet stream. And when we add that latent heat energy and that moisture to a polar jet stream with polar air masses, it amplifies the jet stream. But you can also end up with a wide variety of different results. Some of them with a very deep trough around the Aleutian Islands, others with more of a broad trough, and some still with a deep trough, but maybe further west or further east. And each one of those impacts, well, unfortunately, they have an impact downstream, leading to different model solutions. So you can't really average them out. You basically have to have a pretty good understanding of what's happening. And then, as a meteorologist, you learn from experience, you take the data, and you make your forecast. But that is why we're seeing a lot of model volatility, and that is why you have some meteorologists scratching their head. What can be next? And guess what? We're only beginning. Just wait for the late fall and winter when some of these Pacific tropical systems start interacting with winter storms. That is your video discussion for today. As always, I hope everyone stays safe out there, and I will see you later.